Sorry, my batteries on my handphone is low bat, so I have to charge the handphone. Okay, class, back to our study. After we mentioned about the vocab, they translate, they put into a good sentence, the correct sentence. For instance, like impatient. Can you give me, okay, class, make the good sentence with impatient words. Jadi, what is the meaning of impatient? After they translate, tidak sabar. Okay, can anyone give a good sentence using impatient? And then they're gonna make a sentence using that vocabs that we just learned. And then not too many, 10, 5 is enough. But the most important thing is the students are able to put that vocab into the correct words. And after that, because vocabulary is very important, so I used to add the vocabs into maybe every meet or every twice in a meeting. Okay, class, let's go back to our, and then I continue with the study, which is about present and continuous. We go back to continuous tense, our material today. So the continuous tense is not always talking about something that we talk in the moment. Sometimes it talk about something around the time. As you can see in the whiteboard here, I also mentioned, I use in focus so they can see it clearly. Like I'm reading a great book. Yeah, I'm reading a great book. Maybe in the time of the moment you speak, you don't read that book, but you are reading a book in a specific time. I mean, I'm reading a Harry Potter. It's a very thick book, but I'm not finished yet. And then I'm talking to you. Hey, I'm reading a great book, a Harry Potter. It doesn't mean that you are reading and then you're talking. It may be, but sometimes, even though when you're not reading it, but you mention that in a specific time, around the time, I'm gonna read the Harry Potter book. So it also use the continuous tense. Okay, if you confuse, okay, we're gonna compare this two tenses. Okay, this is, you can see here, simple present and simple and continuous tense. So the purpose of our study is you can put the correct sentence when you speak, because English usually is about feeling, yeah, about time. It's different from Indonesian, yeah, the Indonesian language. If you say saya makan tadi, saya makan kemarin, saya makan besok, saya makan hari ini, saya sedang makan, tidak berubah, cuma ditambahin kata keterangan saja kan. Saya makan tadi, kemarin, saya nanti akan makan, saya besok. But in English, the verb is always change. I eat every day. I am eating right now. I will eat tomorrow. I have eaten. I just recently have eaten. I had eaten the breakfast when you came. Itu jadi semua berubah, semua verbnya bergantung kepada sikon. Nah, in order you to be able to differentiate between present and simple present and continuous, that's why you are studying it. That's the purpose. So you can use into the correct tenses, use into the correct sentence when you speak with the native. Yeah, for instance, kali aja maybe some of you will go to America, to London, right? Some of you have a good in memorizing Al-Quran, and then you are sent to Dubai. You're gonna meet a lot of people there, and then if it is an Arab, it's gonna be English that you're using. It's gonna be embarrassing if you graduate from Darul Quran Bula, it's very great, and then you are and if you speak English and then you I don't know how to speak to put it the correct. That's why we learn here, so you will not mistakenly wrong. Use you can use the correct tenses when you speak. Okay, now for instance, when I say I speak English, what does it mean? What the tenses that I use? And then student will say simple present tense. Okay, that's correct. But when I say I'm speaking English, what tenses did I use? And then student will say, continue, sir. Okay, that's very good. Can anyone tell me the difference between when I say I speak English and when I say I'm speaking English? Can anyone tell the difference? Bisa nggak ngebedainnya? Maksudnya apa tuh? Apa bedanya? What's the difference between when the native say I speak English or I'm speaking English? Anyone know? If no students know the answer, and then I will explain. So when I say I speak English, it means it's a fact. I generally speak English, so I use simple present tense. But when I say I'm speaking English, it means I'm speaking English right now, but I don't know next year or next month I'm gonna still speak English or not. So when you say you speak English, it's a general routine. But when you say I'm speaking English, it means that for a certain amount of time I'm gonna speak English, but I don't know. If I come back to Indonesia, I don't think that I'm gonna still be using English, right? Jadi Inggrisnya cuma dipakai when you are in a foreign country. Okay, do you understand? Do you have any questions? And if they don't have any questions, I'm gonna jump to the next study. Okay, second, I live in England and I'm living in London at the moment. So what is the difference? Can anyone tell me? Anyone? I live in England. What does it mean? And then student will say, sir, I live in England means that the person live in England and it doesn't change. It's a fact. Okay, that's very good. And when I'm saying I'm living in London at the moment, what does it mean? And then students, okay, sir, it means that maybe he stay in London right now, but for the next year, he doesn't know whether he still be staying in London or he will go back to Indonesia. That's correct. For instance, you were invited to America. In America, Islam is growing in Europe, right? Islam berkembang pesat di Eropa, in Europe, in America, in London, in British. So when you are invited there, we have a great imam from Darul Quran Mulia, great imam. They are tahfiz, and then you are invited there to become an imam, and then you say, I'm living in New York right now. It means that you live in New York, but you don't know until what certain amount of time. Maybe after 1 year, after 2 years, you're gonna come back to Indonesia. Yeah, okay, that's good. Any questions? And then I usually compare 3 or 5 example, and then they're gonna answer that. And then after that, I'm gonna explain also about affirmative, negative, and questions. Basically, it's just the same. What's the difference between this and this? And this means you have to. It means a fact. While this is in a certain amount of time that maybe you will change about the continuous. And then we jump to the when the students doesn't have any more questions, and when I consider the students are understand about present, about continuous tense, and they also can differentiate between two others, I'm gonna ask them to do the exercise. I have created the exercise for them, so they're gonna do the exercise, or they can jot down in their book from the whiteboard that I display from the InFocus, or they can copy. They go to copy machine and they copy for themselves, so they can study once the lesson ended. And then after we do the exercise, usually I also add a dialogue, a conversation using present tense and present continuous tense. So they're gonna dialogue between each student. For instance, students, on my right side gonna be Abdullah. Students on my left side, it's gonna be Umar. Okay, and then they read the conversation. How are you doing, Umar? And then they say, fine, thank you. How about you? What are you planning to do this week? And then this will answer. So basically, I teach on the method that I use is student center. So it's gonna be students who are active answering my questions, and if they, of course, if they understand. If they don't, then I'm gonna be explaining the lesson as well. So after that, after the material finished, the exercise finished, the dialogue finished, the vocab is done. So in the closing moment, I'm gonna conclude about the lesson. So class, I'm gonna ask the students again, what have we learned today? And then students will ask, sir, we have learned about simple present tense and present continuous, and how to differentiate between two of the tenses. Okay, that's very good. And for the students who are active, got more score than others who just silent. Okay, that's very good. Any other? And then other will give their opinion. Okay, that's good. Amir, that's good. Budi. And then after that, thank you. I'm gonna thanks for the attention, and then thank you for your attention. Okay, before we end our class, let's pray together. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, and I'm so sorry if I made a mistake. My utterance, my deeds. So I would like to be forgiven. Thank you for your attention. Then, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. That's micro teaching that I do usually. Yeah, that I do. I'm so sorry because there is no students here. Because I've done teaching, and yeah, that's all that I can give you. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.